Welcome to Diverse Orange, our conversations about diversity here in Central Florida. My guest today is Derek Lee. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be a part.
Derek, you are with City Year Orlando, and you have your own business, all working to improve the lives of some of our youth, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, before we get into that, let's check in about you. Where were you born and raised?
Sure. Born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida, about 2 hours heading towards Miami. It used to the Central Florida area, so about 2 hours going, I guess, south, you may want to call it. So born and raised in a single parent home with one mother. She did her very best to do everything she could to make sure I understood the importance of education and also make sure I understood the value of community work and always making sure that no matter what I put my mind to, I can achieve it. And always being so mindful, make sure that Derek, it is not about you. It's about the people that you believe in and you want to invest in.
Well, it sounds like you've taken our lessons to heart. What
Yes.
brought you to Central Florida?
City of Orlando, I had an amazing opportunity to plug into this nonprofit in Central Florida called City Year Orlando. And I heard about the great work they was doing in Orange County public school system. I said, you know what? I want to take on a challenge. I was born and raised, and like I said, in West Palm Beach, been in Florida all my life. And growing up as a child, I've always wanted to move to Central Florida. I don't know why, but I just always loved the theme parks and the atmospheres up here, the people, just how nice everyone was. So one day, I heard about CDR while being in the dentist's office. I said, I'm going to apply, knowing nothing about the program. I applied, and 10 years later to date, I am still with this amazing organization. So I'm so glad I made the choice to move to Central Florida.
So that was 10 years ago, and you've been working with City Year ever since?
Ever since 10 years ago, I started in August, and here we are 10 years later. I am on their staff. So I started from the lower level as as a AmeriCorps member, full-time tutor in the classroom. And 2 years after that, I was able to get on staff, the first alum to ever serve with this program, and then be able to be fortunate enough to have a staff position. And then from there, it's been going up the ladder ever since. So 10 years later, I'm still happy to be working with the community and the students of this community. I'm so excited to still be a part.
And you're working with less privileged kids, probably a lot of
One student,
minority.
yes, minority, people of color, students who kind of have a hardship upbringing, maybe a single parent home, maybe parents working two and three jobs. So I'm very embedded into the community of the ones who may not understand that, have mentors, and may not be privileged enough to know how it is to have a two-parent home or just going home and having food at home. So I'm very committed to making sure that every child knows that someone is out here fighting for you that may or may not look like your skin complexion. So I'm very invested in that lower sector community for sure.
As you've gotten to know this community, how has it compared to where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm definitely not ashamed to say I grew up with a lot of privilege. My mother worked hard. So, fun fact, really small story. I kind of segue to your question you asked. My mother, when she had me, she was a very on heavy drugs, cocaine, and so after she had me, and they took her away from me because of course they took me away from her, excuse me, and because of she was on drugs, and that instance made her realize I need to clean up my act. My mom since then, years ago, got a job, made sure that I never seen a day of struggle. And so I always truly believe that what my mom did for me, I can be that mentor, that big brother, that uncle, that cousin to someone else. And so it just knowing that what I went through and seeing what these kids are went through, I have to be the light that can let them know someone's out here rooting for you, fighting for you, and there is joy at the end of that tunnel. So definitely just going back to your question, I'm just so committed and passionate about these children and making sure they understand like it's someone out here who really understand you can make it, but it's my job to push you to be the best version of yourself.
Is there a lot of need for people like you here in Central Florida?
We need more than enough. We need tons of more people that can one have a mindset of it's not about me, but I'm here to really help bring these children out of need and poverty. But not only that, we need people that have compassion, that can really understand that it's a lot going on in the world today. It's a lot that these children are facing that, to be honest, I'm only 31. And so what the kids are facing now compared to when I grew up is no comparison at all. And so we need more people that's really ready to have an active role and saying, you know what, how can I mentor? How can I join City of Orlando? How can I move to Central Florida and just be a resident that understand that I am somebody who believe in diversity, but not only that, I have a passion for youth development and even just people development in general. So we need more people out there for sure that don't mind joining in forces with us and making sure that we're going to accomplish some of the same goals.
Are you primarily working with one group, like a racial group, like African Americans? Or...
No, I have all. I'm all over. I'm very believing, very diverse. I believe in inclusion. I'm really big on making sure that all sectors of people, if you identify in this community, the Title One community, low poverty, I have been fortunate to work with kids that are literally Haitian descent all the way down to your Hispanics, to your Caucasians. So I'm not tiered towards one focus. I truly believe in that all people deserve to have the same treatment and all people truly deserve to have a chance at having a better life. And so anytime you interact with me, you can definitely always see I'm a loving person. If I can help you, let's get to it. So I work with all people. I believe in diversity for sure. So yes, definitely not one group of people. I can help all, and we are helping all. Definitely.
What are some of the particular actions or things that you do that do that?
Yeah, so definitely the biggest one I can definitely name and speak on today is about tutoring. Just making sure that every child understands the power of education and the power of knowledge. And so one thing that I'm really big on is making sure that academics is key. If I can get you to go to school, if I can get you to do your homework, and then I can help you with the food, I can help everything else. But coming up to school and showing up is a huge piece that is really, really important. And so for me, academics is my heart, it's my passion, making sure kids know how to read, know how to write, know how to do their math, just know how to have understanding. If you can teach them the small tools and tricks to survive in life, I'm really big on everything else to fall in place. So I'm big on making sure they're showing up to school, they're doing their homework, and if not, let's go to a tutoring company. Come talk with me. I have different resources that's available to kind of help you understand that you have people out here that's willing to help you achieve and overcome those academic hindrances sometimes that students tend to face. So I'm really big on making sure that kids understand knowledge is power. But in order to get to that knowledge is power, how can I have an active role in making sure you understand how to get there?
I love that you've used the term showing up several
Yeah.
times. I think that's the same for everyone in life. In my job uh, as ambassador to the arts,
Yes.
helping the arts, I have to show up
Mhm.
to plays and concerts and exhibitions and dances, etc.
Definitely.
In my role with Fusion Fest, celebrating our many cultural diversities, I got to show up.
Yeah,
I need
sure.
to show up at the Asian performances center at the AmeriCorps Center. I need to show up at the Hispanic Latin days, etc. Showing up is one of the easiest and hardest things to do.
Very hard. Some days you're burnt out, some days you're tired, some days you have your own things going on with your own family members. But when you realize that this cause is bigger than yourself, and you're doing service to the cause greater than self, that's one of my biggest things I live by. Anything I'm doing is bigger than just Derek. And so when you kind of keep that mindset, you know how to show up and also be mindful of sometimes take a break to kind of recharge yourself and press that restart button and also be able to show up even greater. So definitely you have to show up. That's something that everyone knows me. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to make sure I'm putting in all my efforts to make sure I'm committed.
And you're showing up during the day working for City Year. And
Yes.
tell us about your other private business.
Yeah, so my own private business is called Foresight Development. So we have so many different businesses within the LLC. But one of the biggest things I do, I help people. If you have a dream, I help you achieve it. If you want to write a book, I kind of help you understand the correct steps that you need to take to obtain the things to publish your book. I also have a tutoring company that's called Paper and Pencils, where we're going to the lower need communities offering free tutoring to different communities and schools and after school programs where they can connect with us and we're really big on making sure we're providing people that have teachers and educators that are qualified to teach these students in the lower need community. So I'm all over the place, from being your event planner to having my own business doing tutoring to helping you understand if you have a dream, how can we set up different systems to help you tackle that dream. So my business literally covers all areas that concern the person that I'm working with. So definitely
Great.
Foresight Development LLC.
I think I will call you Mr. Show Up from
Yes.
now on. And we are delighted that you showed up in Central Florida 10 years ago and that you continue to show up for those youth that need someone to show up for them.
Definitely.
Thanks for the conversation, Derek.
Thanks for having me. I love what you all are doing. Have a great one.
Great. And thanks for watching this issue of Diverse Orange, our conversations about diversity. I also do a conversation about Central Florida's arts and culture called Playfully Orange. Thanks, everyone.